All right, round one. Definitely keeping this hand. Good draw. Potential for our turn 2 for Rika's Cure. No 2-drop. Always a good sign. We're going to drop our Phalanx here. Could have actually dropped a Swamp, I guess. So he wasn't sure if I could use the ability or not, but now he's definitely sure. Alright. Well, guess we're going for it. Ember Swallower. Alright. Could 2-for-1 myself. I think at this point we just bust the whip out. Seems like a good time. Makes attacking with Ember Swallower a lot more awkward for him. Unless he has a good follow-up, of course. Alright. So I think it's time to bust out the Emissary. Can't bestow it, but it's not a big deal. So we get to sip the Ember Swallower next turn before he busts out the Monstrosity, which seems like a good idea to me. Guess he could have Mortal's Resolve or something, but can't really play around it. Let's see what his follow-up play is. Stone Shock Giant. Well, unfortunately for us, that is another big dude. Oh. Well, that helps. Alright, well, we're going to... I really do want to kill the Ember Swallower. Sacking 3 lands is... Like, I can double for Rika's Cure the Ember Swallower, or the Stone Shock Giant. Get in for 3, draw my card, gain some life. Seems like the best play, and just hope he doesn't hit his 7th land. Or if he does hit his 7th land, that it doesn't... that we can still somehow race that. It's possible, I guess. We are gaining a bunch of life. I mean, alternatively, I just sip the Ember and pass, but I don't like that. Let's do this. Oh, I guess he could have Titan Strength. I'm not going to play around it. I've got a game plan. If it doesn't work, so be it. Alright. Well, I didn't have Titan Strength. That's the good news. Alright. Alright. Looks like he's not going to be monstrositying. That's a good sign. Nessian Asp. It's a bit of an issue. So I could sip the Asp. I mean, both of these are going to be problems. Let's just sip the Asp and get in again. I mean, at this point, we're going to go over that plan. I think that is actually the best plan. Just try and outrace the Ember Swallower. I mean, we're getting value right now. More value than he's getting from us. So now if he nukes the lands, we can just sack 3 swamps and still play everything in our deck. Or at least play the Night Howler and give it +3, bestow on this to give it +3/+3, which is huge. Alright, Thunderbrute. So I can pay the tribute and make it a 7 or a 8/8 trample, but I think I'm going to make it a 5/5 trample haste because we can race with the Night Howler. So I'm not going to pay the tribute. He can have the haste creature and decide whether he wants to attack or block. I hope he stays back on defense because that's going to make the Emissary pump a lot better. I guess Night Howler and Whip don't have the best synergy together, do they? But that's okay. I'd say gaining a bunch of power and getting a lifelink is pretty good. He's going to go for it. I'm really surprised he's attacking with Thunderbrute. No joke. If I were him, I would definitely think it was a better idea to stay back, but he does not. Alright. So we're bestowing... Getting in for 6, gaining 6. Drawing a card. And dropping a Shipwreck Singer. And we can block if we want. Okay, still not dead. Makes our guy a little bit bigger. Ill-tempered Cyclops, okay. So is he finally deciding to stay back on defense? Guess he, okay. With both, makes no sense. I like his lack of logic. Beautiful. Huh. Well, I guess we get in for 7, he chumps. And then I play a Prescient Chimera. Could have also brought out the Phalanx, activated it. I don't think I would have been able to follow up with the Prescient Chimera though, had I done that. I'm trying to think. Nope, I would have had just enough to bring out the phalanx but not attack with it. If he had the 7th land, it actually still wouldn't be lethal. It would be 12 damage. 1 short. Okay. Still just swinging in. Gonna block the big dude because we don't lose much. And presumably beat him, yes. Okay. So I think if he had made some better decisions with attacking, he would have done a lot better against us, but he appears to be the fatty green-red deck, huh? We probably have a decent match against that. We could do Gorgon's Head, which makes our earlier guys block better. Nullifies are going to be a lot better in this match because he's got all the fat. I might be willing to switch make some deck changes to accommodate the nullifies. For example, cutting Shipwreck Singer. Just based on all the fat we saw, Shipwreck Singer is going to be a lot worse. It's just an evasive guy. I mean, we don't know everything he's running, but why don't we cut a Shipwreck Singer? We'll bring in 1 Nullify for that. And we can cut... We could cut a Pharykis Cure for a 2nd Nullify. And then we can justify taking out a Swamp for a 2nd, or another island. And then we should be able to even hit our 2nd blue source more often. Wouldn't mind bringing in the Gorgon's Head, to be perfectly frank. Turns all of our little dudes into blockers for his crazy dudes, but we've already got a couple Death Touchers, I guess, so, or where is it? This guy. So it probably is unnecessary. Oh, let's try the Nullify plan, see if that works out for us. I guess he does have the Nyxborn Wolf, though, at least. Maybe cutting Pharykis Cure is wrong. I'm still okay with cutting the Shipwreck Singer, though. Let's cut a Coastline Chimera, just because I guess it does block his 4-power guys. Let's cut the Adept. Alright, let's try this. Alright. Red source. Well, we're going to open up the island, just in case we get that Nullify. Deathbellow Raider, okay. Let's drop the Eidolon. I'm not going to use it on the Deathbellow Raider, but we're close to a turn progression that's going to let us do the whip into something. I mean, we get to Divination next turn. Ideally, find a Nullify, because then we can start countering his actual relevant spells. Well, guess theoretically we can go Disciple into Disciple. That's not bad. Could also do whip into disciple, but we're going to want to start hitting creatures here soon. He's off double red currently. Alright, no plays. Let's go ahead and swing. And actually the Thassa's Emissary would be a pretty good play, but I kind of want to bestow it. The nice thing is he's forced to attack into it with Deathbell Orator. And he probably plays his fatties starting next turn. Let's do the Disciple. It can still block the Deathbell Orator, and it gives me one of his cards. And then the next turn, Disciple hopefully gets even more. Well, not hopefully. It does get even more, but we'll see what it gets. Well, definitely taking the Ember Swallower. So there's also Vulpine and Forest. So easily taking Ember Swallower. Even though he's clearly off his second red source, he still can't play the Vulpine Goliath next turn. So this is definitely the right choice. And then next turn with Disciple, we can take his Vulpine Goliath or theoretically another fatty. Probably the Vulpine though, since our Baleful Eidolon will get trampled over. It will kill the Goliath, but we got to take 5 in the process, which is not exactly what I'm hoping to do. Oh, alright. I actually feel great about that, considering the Disciple already did his work. Ooh, Phoenix. Well, not quite time for him. We need to take out this Vulpine Goliath immediately, so we're going to do that. Make sure we hit our Vulpine. Find it very curious that he would Fall of the Hammer our Disciple instead of our Baleful Eidolon. I think that was the absolute wrong choice. Alright, well, Vulpine's gone, and then we just know about Time to Feed and Destructive Revelry. Unfortunately, Revelry is going to be good this game. It's going to hit our Thassa's Emissary, but why don't we force him to do it on a land pad instead of our Whip. So we don't want to play the Whip or the Emissary. We really want to bait it out with the land pad if we can, but clearly getting rid of Vulpine Goliath here. Even though he doesn't have the land, let's just keep him off creatures. I mean, we can do Phoenix next turn, which is pretty nice. Just start slowly but surely eating his deck. And we're actually, we're only 2, at that point we're only 2 away from making him active. He can time to feed here too. That's actually okay. If he time to feeds, I get to drop the land pad and force the Revelry out of him. And then we can start dropping the real threats. Yep. Perfectly fine with that. Much rather him get those out of the way now. So he's got Destructive Revelry mana up, and that is exactly what he intends to play. So, Alright, I think we just swing Eidolon, play Lampad, make it. We're going to leave up the Pharykis Cure. Just in case. Like, I could have played the Lampad bestowed on him, but it actually doesn't matter. We're just going to force him to play the Revelry on our Lampad, and then next turn we can, you know, whip or whatever. Alright, looks like he's not interested, so we're just going to force it then. Yep, forced it, so that worked out. Now we can do Emissary, leave up Pharykis Cure, and we can do Whip next turn. He's forced to attack into Emissary here. No plays. So plenty of creatures in the yard at this point, so we'll Night Howler up our Emissary. Just in case, well, no, I guess we get in. I was going to say in case he's got Portent of Betrayal, but Portent still doesn't kill us unless he's got a pump spell. So we get to draw our card, and yeah, we'll drop the Astronomer in case we need to block. Beautiful. So next turn we get the Whip or the Fennex. And Fennex is going to be turned on as well. Yep, Cyclops is not going to do it. Nor is Skullcleaver. Sure thing. Get to drop Whip, and that is game over. Alright. Got there. See you round 2.